Well, we're back for second half independent off-tube studio commentary from the game at Craven Cottage. It's goalless between Fulham and Crystal Palace. Certainly Palace having the best of the first half for now. Fulham getting into the game a little bit towards the end of the first half, but still not enough really to lay any kind of glove on Palace in terms of having a decent efforts on goal. But the home side potentially would have seen how Palace played in the first half. They may have to adapt their tactics somewhat just to have a bit more attacking possession, and we'll see whether or not Palace want to come out of the traps in the same way they did in the first half. So it's all to play for in the second half, and it's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and John Hogan taking the action. I'll bring John in just a second because here come Fulham down the left-hand side. Robinson's ball into the box is a very tame one. No chance of anyone in a white shirt getting on the end of that, and it's a comfortable save for Henderson.
Yeah, I think he caught in two minds there, Robinson, what he was going to do. There was a lot to unpick for Fulham at half-time. They weren't getting much of the ball. The system didn't seem to be working. I felt that maybe they're playing out from the back, but their centre-backs needed to be further up the field. And equally, their full-backs are getting marked by the wing-backs of Palace when they're playing out, and they just couldn't find an answer to that. I don't know what the answer is either, really. They might be hoping that Crystal Palace just run out a puff or something like that, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. I went into the game fancying Palace, and pretty much I still do, but it's 0-0 and anything can happen.
Well, I was thinking potentially it might be a score draw. I mean, it's looking like it is obviously a 0-0 draw as it stands, but I would be surprised if this game finished 0-0. I do think there is a goal, at least a goal in this game, potentially from Palace, certainly looking the more likely to score in the first half. Just to remind you, it is still Leno in goal for Palace. He'd have a bit of an injury problem in the first half, but he's still in goal. Then it's Castagne, Diop, Bassi, and Robinson as the back four for the home side. João Paulinho and Reed as the two holder midfielders. Iwobi, Andreas Pereira, and Decordova Reed as the attacking midfield three. Rodrigo Muniz is the front man for Palace. It is Henderson in goal, a back three of Klein, Anderson, and Richards. The four across the middle are Munoz, Wharton, Hughes, and Mitchell, with Ayew, Elise, and Mateta as the attacking three, as it was Iwobi shoved off the ball there, literally shoved off the ball there by Munoz. I think that has been given as a free kick to Fulham.
Yeah, he just got in a bit too deep there, didn't he? And he wasn't backing off Munoz, the Colombian, and I think Iwobi takes a bit of shrugging off the ball, but he made sure, didn't he? But it's definitely a free kick.
Yeah, and it's a chance now for Pereira, although certainly Palace are doing what they can to make this as difficult as possible for Pereira. They've set up their offside outside the D, so it's going to be very difficult for a Fulham player to get on the end of this and stay on side. They're going to have to try and really time it. It's a long floated ball towards the edge of the penalty area, a comfortable header there for Richards. Then it's hooked up in the air by Elise. It drops to Pereira. He sends a high ball back towards the edge of the penalty area. Ayew is underneath this. He hooks it away, and then it's Munoz with a bit of a strong pass to Klein, but in fairness to Klein, he controls it on the chest, clears it towards the halfway line, and after all of that, Palace do actually come away with the ball. It's Mateta surrounded by Fulham players, and it's a combination of Bassi and João Paulinho that dispossess him, and now Harrison Reed playing it all the way back towards Bernd Leno. It goes square to Diop, and as he was trying to turn away from trouble there, Decordova Reed, he loses the ball, and now it's Anderson playing an early ball over the top, but it's a good one as well to pick out Mateta. If he's onside, he can hold the ball up, wait for some support, rolls it back towards Tyrick Mitchell, his cross into the penalty area. Munoz is there, and in the end it goes out for a goal kick. The frustration there for Palace, I suppose, is that Mateta was forced out wide, so when that cross was coming in, he couldn't actually be on the end of it himself.
Yeah, he can't be everywhere, but I thought again, Fulham were playing out from the back. But every time they look, there's a man closed down. Everybody who goes to receive the ball off the goalkeeper or what have you has got somebody at their back. And after a while, it plays on you. You're thinking, I've got, even if you haven't, you think I've got to play the ball quickly and the ball's got to go backwards. Palace keep on closing down and keep on working hard to do that. Nobody's getting a free passage here. But equally, Palace are not killing themselves doing that. They're willing runners in this, and I can't see them tanking playing like this necessarily. It's decent hard work, but it's they're not overdoing it really. And
no, I see what you're saying. There is an intensity from Palace, but there's also it's measured at the same time. They're not sort of burning out in one go, and as I say, they seem to be starting the second half in a similar vein to the first, albeit Fulham are able to just keep them at bay a little bit further up the field. We have got our first goal in the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the second half, and it's Wolves 2, Luton 0. So it's a shame for Luton They certainly look like they're making a real fight of staying in the Premier League, but just at the worst possible time. They've lost all their form and they've got an absolute shopping list of injuries as well.
Well, we were talking about that amongst the lads at the break, and it was probably the game against Bournemouth. You know, you're 3-0 ahead, and then you end up getting beaten 4-3, and that kind of thing. Just absolutely, it saps your courage and strength. To know that you can score 3 goals and that not be enough. Really dispiriting stuff.
No, it is, and I suppose even if the manager, the coaches, and everyone says that don't worry about that, get it out of your system, there will be moments where that does creep back into your thinking, and you think that if you just if we could have at least drawn that game, we've had an extra point, we should have won the game, we've had an extra 3 points, and it's all ifs, buts, and maybes, of course, but it's looking like it's going to be a tall order for Luton now.
Yeah, I think mentally it's hard to come back from saying whatever you do is not going to be enough. However well you play, and there's been loads of times this season that they've taken the lead or scored goals and you've thought, could they hang on? And they're a team, they do tank, they put a lot in, but they seem to be gone after 60, 70 minutes. See players like Tai Chong, he's good enough to be in the Premier League, but for about an hour, do you know what I mean? And then they sort of go out like a light.
It's that intensity, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we've allowed ourselves that quick tangent there because things have just slowed down a little bit here at Craven Cottage, but Fulham have won themselves a free kick on the left-hand side. Similar position to the one they had a few minutes ago, a bit further out from goal this time. It's another long ball in from Andreas Barrett, another header clearing that by Chris Richards. Comes back to Richards, he nods the ball over towards the left-hand side. Mitchell gets there ahead of Castagne, but Castagne is all over Mitchell here, stopping him turning. Mitchell's pass to Hughes is just a little bit off target, and now it's a chance for Fulham as Castagne on the right-hand side gets a ball in, and it's Rodrigo Muniz on 52 minutes. And would you believe it, after all that positivity and all that praise of Crystal Palace, it's just a loose ball in midfield. Fulham are able to recycle it. It's a ball down the right-hand side. He's had no service this afternoon, Rodrigo Muniz, but the first time he gets one on a plate, he takes advantage of it.
Yeah, it's weird. In the first half, we said that whenever Fulham do make a break forward, and it wasn't often, you'd see 3 or 4 bodies in the box. And if you can do that, you've always got a chance. I think that Silva was really frustrated at half-time, but here there wasn't too much that had gone wrong. Mitchell did well until he didn't. Then he loses the ball. But look, there's four white shirts in the box when that cross comes in, and when you've got 4 targets like that, you've got a great opportunity. Muniz has done a brilliant thing here. Just drifts off at the far post. He's not picked up by the markers. There's 3 centre backs, but he's in a big gap. And
a lovely ball from Castagne as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant ball in. And he's begging him to put it in the back of the net. I think we'd all have fancied nodding that one in, but you've got to be in the right place at the right time.
You do, and credit to Castagne as well, because he did all that good work down the right-hand side, and there was just a bit of a bobble on the ball, just a bit of a bounce, which actually helped Castagne put just that little bit more pace on that cross. But, after all this from Palace starting well, and they'll certainly look back on that penalty decision in the first half, but that's been and gone. They've still got plenty of time. We're only at 53 minutes here, unofficial independent off-tube shooter country. Fulham now lead against Palace by a 1-0. And Palace straight from the kickoff have lost possession, and here is Iwobi now down the left-hand side for Fulham. Is short ball to Robinson. Palace are back in numbers because it is straight from the kickoff, but Fulham still have the ball, and it's a long diagonal ball now from Iwobi towards his right wing friend there down the right for Deco Doverin. It's headed away by Mitchell, and just as a quick point of interest, that shots from Muniz, the header, was in fact Fulham's first effort on target.
Yeah, so they're not really troubled Dean Henderson. Palace had more chances, but really Bernd Leno's had nothing to do. There was one easy save from Elise, wasn't there? But it goes to show you, one, you need the officials to get things right. Palace would have had a goal start. But equally, when you are on top, make them pay for it. They were the better team the first half, but did they create enough out of that? Well, the answer quite simply is no. You make them pay, and they failed to do that.
They did, and now it's just a question of how Palace respond as they win a ball back here at midfield. Wharton plays one into Hughes, who is just a strong challenge there on Will Hughes. I would have put a lot of money on that being a free kick to Palace. The referee says no, and now for a much smaller bit of contact, Muniz goes down, and it's going to be a free kick to Fulham. And ironically, it's actually a couple of Fulham players saying to the ref, well, come on, what about that challenge from Anderson? But the challenge seconds earlier on the Palace man I thought was much worse.
Yeah, now what happens here is that the referee, what he's been doing is anybody who goes down screaming gets a free kick. Hughes goes down screaming, doesn't get it, and I thought it looked like he'd been fouled. Then the next thing is, you know for a fact that Anderson is going to fire in. There's no doubt that he got caught there. Was it Reed?
He got kicked by Reed. I mean, like, there's this. How the referee can watch that and then seconds later see that Muniz goes down and he says, "Oh, that must be a foul." And
then Anderson comes in after that, and what he's saying is, well, if you're allowing that kind of contact, then you'll get that kind of contact. I didn't even think Anderson's effort on Muniz was as bad as Reed's was. You know, I think it was a better attempt to win the ball, but he was given a free kick.
And here is that free kick. It's towards the edge of the penalty area. There's a man down for Palace inside the box. I think it was because Iwobi was trying to go for that ball. A Palace man has jumped and has sort of landed awkwardly after that attempt. It is who is that who's down on the ground? It looks like it's Muniz who's down. Colombian in a bit of pain there. We'll see. As this ball is floated in, he sort of jumps. He tries to jump for the header, then he sort of catches onto the back of Iwobi in midair, and that completely breaks his fall. And he lands really awkwardly on his shoulder there. That doesn't look nice at all.
No, it doesn't. I mean, he's full-blooded from the Colombian, and he's diving over the top, but then it's like, all right, then you're going to take the brunt of it on your face and neck, and that's not how we like to land, is it? Looking at Muniz's header, it's perfect, far post, brilliant ball from Castagne, and for Fulham, they're delighted. You know, just because they've been beaten to the punch in this game, you know, they still know what they're doing. And like I said, committed to getting bodies in the box. They're struggling to play out from the back, probably because they've emptied out their own midfield, because they're desperate to get bodies forward. But it's worked out. And they got the balance right this time. They've gambled on getting a ball like that in, but it's worked out for them.
It has. It's referee just having a quick word with Anderson, Pereira and Muniz. I'm not really quite sure why it's those particular three that need to have a quick word with the ref. It's going to be a drop ball for Palace. It does amaze me how long that rule's now been in, that there's no such thing as a contested drop ball anymore, but you still get opposition players trying to crowd round when it is a drop ball. Just to tell you as well that we do have a third goal at St James's. It's now Newcastle 2, Sheffield United 1. Newcastle take the lead, having after conceding first in that game, but it's now Bruno Guimaraes who's made it 2-1 to Newcastle in that game. And going back to our game here at Craven Cottage, strong challenge there from João Paulinho. It's knee to knee there on Jordan Ayew, and he certainly felt that one.
Yeah, Ayew turns into trouble. Definitely tagged there, definitely a free kick, and that should be it. Just caught. Palace need to regather, don't they? Muniz is going to come back. He looks all right, doesn't he? But he looks a strong fella, doesn't he, really?
He does, yeah. Dominic Bond's our fourth official, just waiting for that confirmation from Stuart that he can come back on the field. It will be a free kick to Palace. It's only a few yards away from the centre circle, but Elisa goes all the way towards the box, and it's Munoz's header, in fact, which drops inside the penalty before it's hooked away by Harrison Reed. Elisa then finds Wharton and does well to turn, but runs straight into Bassi. He then wins it straight back to Zedon Wharton, plays it square to Will Hughes, and he tried to go over towards Mitchell, but that's good work there from João Paulinho. He's having a pretty quiet game in defensive midfield this afternoon, but he did well to win his side the ball back initially. Now it's been one back, and it's Ayew down the left here for Palace, all the way to the edge of the area, skips away from Castagne, fires a low ball in, which is only blocked by Diop. It drops to Will Hughes, whose strike is also blocked by Issa Diop, and it's out for a Palace corner.
Good play that by Ayew, wasn't it? You know, shaped to come inside, and then dropped his shoulder, went back out to the byline, then he fired a ball across the face. Diop did well, but he could only flick it back into the area, and Hughes saw his shot blocked away. But better work from Palace. You know, if they have been hard done by in this game, then it's up to them to grab the game back, isn't it, and grab that goal and force the pace again, which they did the first half, which they haven't really done second.
Short corner taken this time, and it's not worked out at all for Palace. Ayew into Wharton. They wanted a bit more of an angle for a left-footed ball in from Adam Wharton, but that one is cleared, and it's out for another corner. And I just wonder whether Palace will try a different variation this time. There's no point in doing the same short corner routine twice. As I say, I'm quite old school when it comes to corners. I still think that the direct in-swing of putting keepers under pressure, that area of uncertainty in the 6-yard box, that still to me is the most effective corner, because you can't do that every single time because it will become too obvious, but it's hardly ever used these days.
Yeah, for me, it's time-honoured that. You can either get an ear-post flick on through the box, or have somebody at the far post square who can head it back across the keeper or into top corner. You know, if you get your delivery right, then your players are attacking the ball. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
If you're a team of tiddlers, then maybe there's no use. But Palace have got big enough guys to aim at, and don't forget they've got 3 centre-backs, if you like, and a tall striker.
They do, but in the end, that first corner was easily dealt with. The second ball actually went out for a throw, which Fulham won back off Palace very quickly. They cleared their lines, but then Palace are back in possession here in midfield with the ball down the right-hand side. Elise leaves it here for Mateta, who spotted that. It's Ayew, in fact, down the right-hand side. Mateta was waiting in the middle. Ayew's ball in is charged down by Robinson, and it's almost like we've gone back to the way the game went at the start of the first half, with Fulham just having to clear the ball, then Palace coming straight back.
Yeah, I think Robinson, he's got the afterburners there that just means that Ayew's ball was going to get blocked away. But again, it's an opportunity for a corner. Muniz's a big guy as well, so they've got a lot of targets to hit if they can just find a good ball in.
Standing over this one is Jordan Ayew, and he's got plenty of players to try and pick out inside the penalty area. It will be a right-footed outswinger from Palace's number 9. It's not enough height on that, but it's not a particularly good clearance from Robinson. He hooks it up in the air, and he can be thankful that Leno was quickly underneath that one, stops it going out for another corner. And Leno just rolls this one out towards Issa Diop. Then plays a quick ball down the right-hand side for Castagne. Back towards the edge of the Fulham penalty area. And Leno's being closed down. Heavy touch there from Bassi, and in the end he was rushed in his pass to Robinson, but Robinson as well to clear his lines, but then the ball coming straight back towards the Fulham penalty area. Cleared by Diop up towards the halfway line. And Anderson now in towards Ayew. Palace potentially can sense that Fulham are already starting to sort of close up and try to see out a 1-0 win, which on 62 minutes seems a little bit premature. But then I suppose they've not really been able to do much against Palace at all this afternoon, so now that they're a goal up, they're going to try and sit back anyway. Yeah,
Palace are playing good though, aren't they? And again, I say that, and I suppose their use had seen Bernd Leno off his line, but a really extravagant attempt there, which he didn't execute particularly well at all. But I've got a feeling he tried to chip him from range there.
He did. I mean, he was 40 yards out from goal, so it would have been a glorious strike from Will Hughes. But in the end, his effort going straight into the goalkeeper's arms. Hughes enjoying a good spell in the Palace side. He was sort of in and out of the team under Roy Hodgson, but he seems to have been sort of favoured by Oliver Glasner since he's back. There are a few injuries in that Palace team as well, but Hughes certainly a very useful player. So he's fighting alongside Anderson here to try and win the ball back for Palace. On this occasion, Muniz goes down, but the referee says there's no free kick. And for Palace now with Wharton on the halfway line. Over to Elise. Now Muniz down the right-hand side, a run straight into Robinson. No foul there. Robinson does win the ball back for Fulham. And then Bassi does well, just to guide that ball away from Wharton and up towards the halfway line. Pereira just having to check his run slightly, but he does keep it in play. And he's bombing down the left-hand side now, Pereira, towards the penalty area. Plays the ball across to Decordova-Reid, who blazes it wide. It's good vision from Pereira. He spotted that pass, and he spotted it early. And Decordova-Reid on his favoured foot as well, perhaps should have done a bit better.
Yeah, it's a tight angle though, isn't it, in the end?
Doesn't have to hit it first time. He could easily try and control that. There's not much happening in terms of Palace getting players back into the box. He could drop a shoulder, get away from Mitchell, and then try and place it past the keeper. But of course, it's easier said than done from a commentary studio.
No, I think you're right. I think it's a miscue that if he had his time again, I think he'd control the ball and try and recycle it rather than just stuff it like he did. It was difficult to wrap his right foot around that sufficiently to bring it in. As Elise now is driving forward.
He is. Elise now's got a runner on the left in Mitchell, and it's Mitchell's ball into the 6-yard box, and Mateta trying a back heel. The ball just getting lodged in front of Bassi. It's still not been picked up by Leno before it's eventually cleared by Diop. But credit to Bassi there, because he stood firm when it looks like Mateta was trying to back heel it towards goal. Bassi stopped it and then stopped that ball from being scooped out for another shot on goal.
Yeah, the ball got stuck in his legs then, didn't it? And I don't know if you're entitled to boot him while on the ground.
I think there was a time where you could, but I don't think you can these days. I mean, I always remember those. I always love those clips from like 100 years ago where they showed the FA Cup final of the keeper catching the ball on the line, and then the striker just
Matt Lofthouse,
just charging straight into him. The ball's over the line, so it's a goal. And not one player from the opposition team were like, "Well, that's a foul, ref." Everyone just accepts that you could push keepers into the net back in the day. But here come Palace now down the right hand side. It's with Elise. Edge of the area, puts a cross in. Mateta, it's too high for him. It's hooked up in the air by Decordova-Reid defending, and that's gets a bit of luck because it goes very close to the corner flag, but it's just out for a throw.
Yeah, again, it's good play by Palace, isn't it? They're creating chances now, and again, they seem to be on the front foot. We're going to see Willian come on. They need something from somewhere. I don't know, would it be Bobby Reid or Alex Iwobi who'd get the chop out?
I'm quite surprised that it's Willian. I would have thought with the scoreline being 1-0 to Fulham, maybe a Kearney or a Lukic to try and shore things up, or is it a little bit too early to be bringing them on, mate?
Yeah, probably too early, and sending the wrong message out as well.
That's true as well, yeah.
So maybe just fresh legs out there, but I don't know necessarily his tank. Maybe they want to be more attack-minded. I don't think Harrison Reed's having a great game.
He's not. No, I always think it's a bad sign when you've got a central midfielder who you don't mention very often. Central midfielders should always see a lot of the ball. They should always be involved. Even if your team aren't attacking, they should be the ones helping out in defence. And if you've got someone like Harrison Reed who's hardly being mentioned in a match, that probably suggests that he's just not really getting into the game as much as he should be. Muniz now for Palace finds Adam Wharton. There's no danger of us saying he's not been involved in this game. Had a very good game in central midfield for Palace this afternoon. And it's now Hughes up towards Ayew. Down the right-hand side for Muniz. Gets to the edge of the area. It's Iwobi tracking him, but he finds Elise. Elise's pass back to Muniz is well blocked, though, by Anthony Robinson, and it's out for another Palace corner.
Yeah, I think I would make that change. Willian on for Harrison Reed, and then Iwobi running through the middle, and then Reed one side and Willian the other. But anyways, corner kick now for Palace to put in. They've had a few opportunities, haven't they?
And here it comes towards the back post. Just one-handed save there from Leno. Perhaps not the most confident, but at the same time it's effective. He gets the ball away from danger and it's out for a throw.
Yeah, like you say, he did what he wanted to do, and he said it would be in another corner. It's just a throw in, and you know whether they can fashion something off this. Here come Palace again. Yeah,
it's taken short this time, and Anderson of all people with the cross into the box. It's a really direct whip ball in, which needed dealing with. Robinson gets it away at the edge of the 6-yard box. It's back into the Fulham penalty area, scooped out by Castagne this time. And Anderson again, still inside the Fulham half, having been up there for the corner, plays a ball into Wharton. Wharton's cross is, I was going to say it's dealt with by Robinson, but he needed 2 goes at it. He very nearly lost that ball to Elise. And eventually it's Klein's pass back to Elise. Is just overhit, and it's out for a throw. It's going to be a double change for Fulham, so they are preparing to make a double change. It's going to be Sasa Lukic and Willian. So first of all, Willian will come on for
Bobby Reid.
For Bobby De Cordova-Reid. That's fair enough. I think of the 2 wingers, I think De Cordova-Reid's probably not had a good as afternoon as Iwobi. Although the other one to come on, I think, is to come off is João Paulinho.
Yeah, he's a good player, but he's not his best game today. I think he'd been bested, and you know, Bobby Reid, he's all action. He's a hard worker, scores the odd good goal. Not been his game today. Iwobi, you want to keep that hard work in there, don't you? So Willian and Lukic come in, and I suppose it's understandable. They want to try and get a hold of midfield. You know, when I watched Hughes and Wharton last week, they dominated for maybe an hour, 70 minutes. As Mateta goes off, that's a surprise, I think.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that as well. I wouldn't have thought it would be for Jean-Philippe Mateta to come off, but he's replaced by another tricky customer in Odsonne Edouard. So potentially, I don't know if that back heel was a little bit too flash for someone like Oliver Glasner, but I didn't think they'd done too much wrong this afternoon. Jean-Philippe Mateta, as Fulham had the throw, but Palace win it straight back. And it's Edouard with his first touch of the ball. He lays it back towards Will Hughes at the edge of the area. Didn't fancy a shot, just leaves it here for Jordan Ayew. And then he has a runner on the left-hand side in Tyrick Mitchell. But Fulham back in numbers and Palace back on the halfway line. 69 minutes gone. It is Fulham 1, Palace 0. And it will be John to take us through to full time.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. I thought there was a mistake there from Palace. Tyrick Mitchell running into the box. Maybe should have been found. But anyway, we'll break off because Palace are on the attack again with Elise out his feet. And then Wharton, Klein. His ball into the middle. Odsonne Edouard gets it out with his feet. Elise now into Edouard. Can he get his shot away in the box? He does. It's a good save by Leno. And eventually, as the ball booted out there, I don't know if it came off a Palace boot in the end, but it looks like they're lining up for a corner kick. Really nice play and some end product too.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good save from Leno initially when he stopped it with his arm, but then the ball rolled off his foot, which actually made some additional work there for a Fulham player to make sure it goes out for a corner kick, and it will be an in-swinger.
Yeah, so the ball comes in, Leno gets it, drops it, and he regathers. So I don't know if he was getting bundled into there. They tend to bail him out, don't they? But I think he just dropped it and then reclaimed it. But anyway, looking at Hudson Edouard's shot through the legs of Diop. A good save, really. Not that much to do, and you would expect him to save that. Well, it didn't take long for Hudson Edouard to get going.
Well, potentially, maybe that's why they've made the changes. That Edouard is, although I wouldn't regard him as a pacey sort of player, he's still more strong than he is quick, but he's probably a bit more mobile than Mateta is.
Maybe.
Mateta's been in goal-scoring form, though, hasn't he? He's scored a few goals recently.
He's full of confidence. I wouldn't have taken him off. I might have brought Edouard on and maybe shaken things up a little bit, but anyway, here Richards playing out from the back. It's a decent ball, but Ayew can't get hold of it. I might have taken one of the centre-backs off to put Hudson Edouard on.
Potentially, I think there was scope to or perhaps to take off Muniz, push Klein, ask Klein to go a bit further forward. I mean, there was a couple of options there, but I just think with Mateta's form recently, it would have made more sense to perhaps leave him on the field. But the change has been and gone, and Palace falls back into their own half briefly. But you just feel that the rest of this game is going to be Palace dominating in possession. It's just how Fulham weather that, and potentially they can go on a counter. Yeah,
I think when if you want to do well, I mean, maybe he thinks his team and the shape they're in are competing well enough. So they're trying to break down the right-hand side, but Bassey's got that covered. No, he hasn't. Ball's going to break for Hudson Edouard into the box. He goes, wriggles. Now, Elise chance left foot to short block to it. Source breaks to Pereira. Here come Fulham counter-attack now. Barrelling down the left-hand side is William. The first real run for him. Not quite the legs to catch up with him. Yes, he does. The former Blackburn man's done really well there. Just stuck with it there. As the fresh-legged Willian. How old is he now? 45? I don't know, but anyway, he's knocking on, but he's still got pace about him, and I bet he burns off a lot of the youngsters in training.
He's 35, he'll be 36 before the start of the new season.
Here's Elise, a strike, and he caught hold of that one, but again it's straight down the middle, and again a very easy save for Bernd Leno.
It is an easy save for Leno as Elise drops the shoulder, gets away from two Fulham players. Because he was concentrating so hard on keeping the shot down, perhaps he never got the power behind it, and it was also straight down the middle.
Yeah, I think the power's all right. Just straight the goalkeeper, who then rolls it out to Diop. And then Reid again plays it back to Diop, puts him under pressure. Lovely touch from him. Just flicks it away from Edouard. But look at him closing down here, putting pressure on. Leno forced to scoop it in the air. Wharton picks it up. Then he's challenged from the back. Surely that was a foul. But again, it's a bit of a vacuum because there'll be no noise from the crowd there. And it was the wrong side of the referee. I said he's not got eyes in the back of his head, but you'd like somewhere, some alert to go off. Anyway, Robinson's over the halfway line now. He flicks the ball to Willian. Klein comes across and takes it off him, but I think that might be at the expense of a corner.
Well, it's something that at least Fulham have been able to get forward very briefly, which is something they really have struggled to do in the last few minutes. And potentially the fact that Willian is on the field is just another attacking option that Palace are going to have to be aware of. As, of course, if Fulham were to get another goal, that really does put Palace in a difficult position in this game.
Yeah, it would. Whether Fulham fully deserve to be a goal to the good, I don't know. Looks like the Blades are getting pummeled again, doesn't it? After having gone a goal up, now it looks like they're going to be 5-1 down. But this is just a goal that separates the two. It's a ball into the box here. I think it's come off the knee of Ayew and gone straight back out again, and that is going to be another corner. Yeah,
it was Iwobi with the flick on, Ayew at the post doing his job there as well. Although I'd say that Henderson just behind him probably would have made the save in any case, but it is going to be a corner kick. Just to say as well, of course, it is still goalless at Old Trafford. Man United against Burnley. I mean, Burnley are not mathematically down. They probably are going to be relegated, but that will still be a fighting point for them.
Yeah, and according to my sources, Burnley were the better team the first half. Anyway, it is a corner in Swinger, and the ball comes in. It's headed down into the box, and eventually Wharton thinks he's cleared it, and the shot comes in a half turn. He's feeding off scraps, really, Rodrigo Muniz, but he looks a good player. He's got it all together. He's won a few fouls. When he's had his chance, he's taken it. He looks pretty good, I think.
He does, and that turn there, as you say, just in front of the penalty spot as he was trying to go for goal. He never really had the balance to get that one on target. But the fact that he's been given a good run in the team now, he's obviously sort of brought in sort of makeshift number 9 after the departure of Mitrovic just before the start of the season. And he's not been as prolific as Mitrovic, but he's getting a few goals as Palace give the ball away inside their own half.
Yeah, Anderson apologises, but his team have to work hard to win it back now. Fulham are a possession team, but Robinson just flicks it out with his outstep of his left boot there and is giving it away. But, you know, they are a possession team. We haven't seen much evidence of that today. I'm not sure who's dominating those stats. Is Jeff Schlupp's going to come on now. He brings that extra bit of pace, and Ayew will go off. And Jordan Ayew, I think he's played really well today, but again, you know, you're always looking for end product, and does he just have quite enough of that? I think he played his part in goals last week. Not today, because Palace haven't scored. So that's 2 attackers off as Schlupp comes on, who he's a pacey midfield option. You know, he can play wing back more naturally as a winger, I think, in this team. But there he beaten to it. And the ball with Castagne played out from the back. Eventually, Lukic goes back. More or less first touch for him. Ball back with Leno. And again, looks for Robinson. It's it first time. Willian takes it on his chest, but he's chasing back towards his own goal. Lovely turn by the Brazilian. And then the ball picked up by Muniz, who spins the ball round the corner, finds Iwobi. Iwobi now driving into the box. A mistake by Tyrick Mitchell there. Ball back on his inside and shot. But leaning back there, Harrison Reed. Well, it's not his forte goal getting, is it? But he gets the odd world. Not bad play that from Fulham.
Not bad from Harrison Reed. The effort from him wasn't bad. There was potentially scope to try and pick out Andreas Pereira, who's in the middle of the penalty area. You mentioned that Harrison Reed sort of goals isn't his forte, but say if he takes a touch and looks for Pereira, he could have tried to pick him out as well. Yeah,
he probably had a bit more time there, didn't he? But I guess when you're running onto the ball like that, you think, you know, here comes clobbering time, and I'm going to smack the bejesus off this. Is Iwobi now? He's kind of holding his shape out on the right-hand side. Willian's come on to play on the left, and because there's no Bobby Reed, who was playing right to inside right, if you like, he's got that duty. The ball won high up the field here by Muniz, and then Klein on it, and over the halfway line. Hughes now has had a good game, finds at Wharton. Yeah, those two were dominating midfield the first half. They still played well second, but somehow Fulham have had as much ball. Here come Palace trying to drive forward with Schlupp, was it through the middle, but dispossessed. And now Willian on the break finds Muniz now, just left-hand side of the edge of the area, cuts onto his right, got a little bit of time. But Richards has defended well throughout the course of the game so far, and he's not going to give it up just now. He looks a natural in this sort of left-hand side of the back three, Richards, where before that, if you remember, they were playing Jefferson Lerma, who looked a bit like the wrong player in the wrong place.
Yeah, absolutely, you know? and Richards playing in central midfield and potentially not looking all that comfortable there either, so it's been a swap that's worked for both of them, as Michael Elise was trying to get away, and he couldn't get away in the end. Lukic taking one from the Tina, holding him pretty much to guarantee a yellow card there, surely. Stopping them. Although I suppose Elise was holding him briefly as well, but it will be a free kick to Palace in a decent position. Yeah,
he just held on for too long there, Lukic, didn't he? You can probably have that little bit of a nip at the opposition player, but he was holding on for longer than a second, it seemed, and it was pretty obvious. Elise had hold of Lukic's shirt. He was on the inside, and unless you could see through his body, very difficult to spot. It's a free kick then, and Bernd Leno's not had an awful lot to do, really. I think Palace have played well. You know, if they play this game 100 times, I think they'd win a good few of them. But Man United look like they've scored against Burnley. So Elise puts the ball into the far post, an opportunity, and wow, Richards hangs a leg out there. I don't know if he could have dived at that or attacked it with his other foot. I think he's trying to pull the ball in. He's all left foot, isn't he? I'm not sure what he's trying to do there.
I'm not sure what he's trying to do. I think he's... Yeah, it looks like he's trying to stop the ball for a teammate, to try and pull it back. But really, what he should have done was just to try and launch his left foot at it. He was close enough to goal already.
Well, Luton have got one back apparently at Molineux. We'll mop up all the bits and pieces, because, like we said, Man United, who were second best the first half, apparently scored the second. But that's the story of their season.
Yeah, Anthony with the goal, which in itself is a story, because he's been he's struggled to find a goal, and struggled in general for United this season. And confirmation that Luton do have a goal back at Molineux. Wolves were 2 up after goals from Hani Chan and Totti, but we're just waiting. It's Carlton Morris, the Luton forward and captain, I think, as well, who's got the goals today.
Yeah, cats living with dogs at Old Trafford. I was talking to our Man United contingent at half-time saying, you know, I started feeling sorry for Bruno Fernandes, a player who naturally I don't have much time for, but he's the one who seems to be working hard and caring, where somebody like Rashford, and I'm an free school meals child, and and I'm all over that, but he doesn't seem to care.
There's two sides. I mean, there's been those clips shared on social media of him sort of effectively walking or jogging past players who are opposition players who are in possession. He's not trying to press, and also just the end product from Rashford this season hasn't been good enough. He's had plenty of starts and just not had the goals and the assists. But here come Fulham now.
Yeah, we see Fulham a bit more on the ball now, a little bit of pressure off. There's only 10 minutes to go, and you think they can almost pass their way around. Palace now might have shot their bolt in terms of the energy. If I was on 350 grand a week, I think I'd make the effort, though, getting back to Rashford. Anyway, Leno kicks it over the halfway line. Richards gets on it. He needs to change club, I think. Reed there getting there first. Not been his game really today, but he's kept on going. He's got that captain's armband on. I'm sure that means a lot. But anyway, there's only 9 minutes left, and Glasner's team, who had been on a good winning run, I played well today, but it's just not been their day so far. And that can happen. It's the Premier League, and if you don't manage to score, you pretty much know the opposition in almost every game are going to find the back of the net.
Well, they are. This is it, and I think that that pressure that there are no easy games, and even if you make a good start and you're playing well, it doesn't count for anything if you don't actually get the ball into the net. And Palace is certainly feeding that this afternoon. It should be a bit of a frustration for them after those 3 straight wins.
Yeah. Well, the other thought is that the beach is calling. I'm not saying anybody's that. It's the first time we've mentioned that, and it could be one of those trite sayings. But sometimes you get that idea. The race has been run for Palace. It seems with their new manager, they're only just clicking into gear and sort of enjoying what they're doing. Whether they'd have done better with their Eze in the team today, we never know. But it's all right saying Glasner's this and Glasner's that. But any Palace coach out the last 2 years, if they had Zaha, Elise and Eze fit all at the same time, they're going to do well. Anyway, we'll break up because here is an opportunity to slop into the box. He goes,
dear. That is awful from Tyrick Mitchell. He had 3, if not 4 players he could work with at the edge of the area, and what he does is effectively just play the ball to an opposition teammate as Will Hughes picks up a nailed-on yellow card as Fulham were looking to counter after that Palace attack led to nothing. And Sasa Lukic, that's a strong challenge there from Will Hughes, and there's no complaints for that yellow card.
No, I'm glad you call it Tyrick Mitchell with that bad ball, because if I said it was Schlupp, then I'd have to apologise to him for shocking ball from Mitchell. Fulham about to make more changes. Tom Kearney about to come on amongst others.
Kearney, Wilson and Breuer, I think it looks like.
Yeah, so I think just fresh legs there. And maybe to give Muniz...
Palace are making some changes here as well. I saw Elise running off to the side. Was he just getting some instructions off the manager, or was he actually being taken off the field? We've got 6.5 minutes plus injury time to go here at Craven Cottage.
Well, if you want to win a game, you don't take all your talent off, do you? Harrison Reed looks like he's going off. He'll give the captain's armband to Tom Kearney and switch around. Kearney had made his way back into the team this season. I know he's captain, but he's struggling to get in. Wilson in fits and starts. They're decent players. And, Breuer will be wondering. Everybody seemed to be courting him at one point. And now he's struggling to make this Fulham side. He had a good loan spell, was it, with Southampton? And I think a whole host of clubs chasing him.
It's a shame. It's a real shame for Breuer, because Chelsea are crying out for a number 9. If he just had a little bit more form, they might have actually liked to have given him a go in actually staying there. But it's going to be another change here for Fulham. We mentioned that Kearney's on for Reed, and now we're going to see Rodrigo Muniz going off as well. Yeah,
I think they're taking the Brazilian off to give him a good hand because he's played well, and obviously you bring another player on who is capable and he's fit and raring to go. Muniz gets a big hug from his his coach, and I can understand that. But Amanda Breuer comes on, and he will want to do well. Looks like Andres Pereira going off. It's a quiet game for him today. Neither him or Paulini. I mean, Paulini is this player who everybody seemed they wanted him, didn't they? But if you were scouting the game today, and I give you a choice between Paulini and Adam Wharton, who would you be taking?
I think, based on today's performance alone, it would have to be Wharton. As there's a change for Palace as well. Confirmation that Ahamada is on. Didn't quite see who had gone off though. It's at least it's still on the field, so we can certainly confirm that. But just to wrap up, it was Breuer on for Muniz, Kearney on for Reed, and Wilson on for Pereira. And just waiting for confirmation as to who Ahamada has come on for.
And he will be taking up his third position of the day, doesn't he? Back in central midfield now for Wilson out the right-hand side. But I'm a big fan of Iwobi, and I would always play him through the middle. I know he can hold the shape and all that, but he's not a winger.
He's a right back at Everton at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he can play a lot of positions well. But for me, middle of the park, he's a natch. At least he's on the ball. He's on the right-hand side. He likes to cut in onto his left. He's found Wharton. He passed the ball fairly well today. We've seen one rash challenge, but sometimes you want to impose yourself, even if you know it's going to be a foul. I think he's getting better every time I see him. Typically, though, it's not. He can't improve every time I see him because otherwise he's going to end up 12 out of 10. But he's making less obvious mistakes, I would have said. Here he's on the ball. It's a good ball forward. An opportunity in the shot. Oh, what a shot from Jeff Schlupp. It's one apiece. An absolute left foot thunderbolt. I mean, Bernd Leno looked like, it's going wide. No, it's not. It's going in.
Absolutely fantastic from Jeff Schlupp, and a look of real frustration from Bernd Leno there. But Palace would say that it's the least they deserve for the way they've played this afternoon, with just 3 minutes to go before we hit injury time at Craven Cottage. It's 1-1 between Fulham and Palace, and we're both eagerly waiting for the first replay of this. It's Wharton in midfield. He finds Schlupp,
wow.
And I'll tell you what, I mean, he's got so little space to work with. He did a quick turn from Schlupp, and he uses that bounce of the ball, absolutely puts his laces through it, and it's just underneath the crossbar in the top. Look at that ping as well. Absolutely superb. He's hit it on the angle, left-footed, off the laces, away into the top corner. No keeper saving that. Superb from Jeff Schlupp, and credit to the manager for bringing him on.
You know, that reminds me of Tony Yeboah hitting the ball a half volley like that and absolutely crashing it into the back of the net. I think he did that against maybe Wimbledon back in the day. But
I was also going to, in terms of how it was hit with the left foot, I was going to bring an example of a penalty keeper that both of us remember when Pressman smashed one. It was similar to that as well.
I mean, the power on it, unbelievable. Here come Palace trying to drive forward now. Orson Edouard, he loses it, he wins it, he loses it again now with Elise. Chance, left foot. And a leaning back. We know what happens to that ball. It's a great opportunity that Edouard fighting hard for his team. Burnley have got one back.
They have indeed. After that goal from Anthony for Manchester United, it's Zeki Amdouni from the penalty spot getting a goal for Burnley. So as I say, it's not going to help them in terms of staying up this season, but the fact that they can play what is a local game for them, of course, and come away from Old Trafford with a point will certainly be credit to them.
Well, credit to them, credit to you, Paul. You said it was going to be a score draw, didn't you? So we're at one apiece, and right now you'd be bailing out, wouldn't you? Yeah, we'll take the winners. Two great goals, I've got to say. The cross from Castagne, it's time-honoured. That great football. Fulham flooding bodies in the box, but their striker, Keane, getting unmarked, getting himself at the far post, brilliant header. But the Schlupp goal is something else. Wharton will get the assist for that, but it's pretty much all Schlupp's work there, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's a superb strike, and to say he wouldn't have scored many better goals than that in the Premier League, Jeff Schlupp. And now it's fascinating, of course. We've got just under a minute of normal time. I would say probably in the 4 or 5 minute bracket in terms of injury time. So, as I say, there could potentially still be a late winner in this game.
Yeah, I bet. Schlupp, he must have a league winner's medal with Leicester. I bet if he scored a winner in that season, and I'm pretty sure he did, then he'll have fond thoughts. But in terms of, a thoroughbred striker, the ball, Hughes now, a ball forward to Edouard. It's a great turn. Elisa now into the box. Can he cut? No, it's great work from Bassi. taking the ball off him there. I don't think Elise knew what he wanted to do there, really. Was he going to drop his shoulder to try and get it on his good left foot or get a right foot strike away? I don't even think he'd made his mind up there. That allowed Bassi then to be strong and take the ball off him.
No, I say he's had a long old career in England now, Jeff Schlupp. He was a Leicester City player, brought over from Hamburg, and I actually remember him playing for Brentford back in the 10-11 season. He had a substituted appearance in what was then the Johnson's Paint Trophy final where Brentford lost to Carlisle. Goodness me, those were the days. But he's gone on to have obviously a fantastic career with Leicester. He's now been with Palace since the 16-17 season. Never had more than 4 goals in a season. But that was an absolute beauty. And now Palace have got some work to do with this free kick for Fulham. We're going to get 7 minutes of injury time.
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it? But I guess that's what you get nowadays. Anyway, Fulham won, Crystal Palace won. And Willian, one hand in the air. The defending quite deep here, Palace. And he'd gone for a strike at goal. Morton's not allowing that. But it pings off his head like a 50-pence piece and goes out for a corner kick. So Fulham an opportunity here to finish with a flourish, perhaps. Or maybe Palace will look to catch them on the counter here. But they've got some defending to do first. Corner on the left-hand side then for the Eagles. As the ball comes in near post, headed away. Has it been cleared? Not necessarily. Ball breaks it back out for Robinson. Thinking about the strike there. Recycles it. Kearney, then Willian. But Schlupp there on hand. And then he clears his lines. Not great control that from Robinson. Then he goes back, and they're happy to go back to the keeper once again, Leno. And again, Palace are happy to chase them all back out. There's no resting on their laurels. You know, they're looking for a victory. And
but look at that as well. Fulham are in possession maybe 10, 15 yards away from their own box. Palace at that point were playing their offside at the edge of the centre circle. They're pressing very high up the field. So that's certainly something that is happening under Glasner, because I don't think they'll be doing that under Hodgson.
No, I don't think so. They're happy to constrict play, aren't they? It's a bit like watching, we mentioned Wimbledon. Do you remember watching those games back in the day? They're unbelievable, the way that they shaped up. But anyway, Robertson now. Ball into midfield. It's been lost, and then it's a shocking challenge, really. I think he's at Breuer running right through Wharton there. He's a big lad, but he went down like a big lad as well. Big sack of spuds there. But it is a free kick for Palace.
Well, it's part of the footballer's armoury these days that even the big stocky players, even the big defenders, midfielders, even goalkeepers have to know how to show a referee there's been contact, because sometimes just being honest isn't enough. You actually have to show the referee that you've been hit.
Yeah, well, he went down there. So the referee left in no uncertain terms. But it was a foul. So 93 minutes gone as Elise takes his free kick, looking to the far post, ball headed back in, not being cleared. Out with Hughes now, dinks the ball back in, headed away by Diop, breaks back to Klein, and he's put under pressure. But it's a good ball that he plays, and again Palace can get going down the right hand side, controlled by Elise. Strong shoulder by Robinson. He's strong and he's quick, and that's his virtue.
That's good defending. That's really good defending for Robinson, because you know how good Elise is on the ball. But just as I say that, it's a terribly risky pass from Robinson, which gets a big deflection and it ends up over the bar. Well, I mean, we barely even had time to finish talking about that good play from Robinson, and he plays a suicidal pass across the edge of his own penalty area. Diop clearing it, crashes that ball into Edouard, and that very nearly deflects into the back of the net, but it's eventually over for a goal kick.
Yeah, playing that from the back. I think Robinson, he is a good player, but he better off running the ball out than passing it sometimes. Again, maybe it was Diop's choice there that was wrong. But they've been a little bit sloppy playing out from the back. Here they go again. Bassi can play left back, and he plays a percentage ball into the middle of the park. Iwobi finds Breuer. Hughes is saying he got fouled in that, but I didn't think so. Wilson's on the ball now. He's driving forward. First touch was good. They haven't laid a glove on him until he runs into Richards. His good game continues, and then Elise hurdles the challenge. Can he get round Robinson? Holds him off this time, and then he cuts inside. His ball into the box is tied. Then Elise is better than that. And then the ball is given away, or at least Wharton wins it. Good ball to Otton Edouard. Here come Palace again. They're coming forward. Some tired players out there making mistakes at the minute. As Again, the ball with Elise. As Ahamada finds Elise again, and it's all gone very slow.
Yeah, it's a strange word because Ahamada came on for Mitchell. Yeah, Ahamada seems to be finding his way on the right-hand side. It's now Klein who switched over to the left.
Yeah, so work to do. Edouard is the easy ball, but the out ball goes backwards now. Richards a little bit further up the field. Yeah, difficult to know. Munoz now almost in a back three, isn't he? We're seeing Elise on the ball. He's players on the inside of him, and it's a decent-looking ball, but Bassi gets there first, and in the end, he cleared his lines. The flag had gone up anyway, so we're just 2 minutes left. What a goal from Jeff Schlupp has given Palace the point probably that they deserve out of this, unless we see another goal. Looking at that sort of half volley. Leno didn't move. I mean, and we're watching that thinking, did it go in? And then we see the ball hit the back of the stanchion and roll back down into the net.
It's superb from Schlupp, as I say, just catches that ball superbly. It's never rising that much. It was just the perfect trajectory to hit the top corner. But working out for Palace as they come Fulham with Willian. But it's that man again, Wharton, stands strong, wins the ball without even sliding in, and now a chance for Palace to break. Yeah,
Wharton's been really strong today. Here come Palace now. Ahmada's lost the ball. And there was a simple ball on, and the other simple fact is that you don't have that long on the ball. It's the Premier League, and you know you control it and you use it.
Munoz was waiting there, and the pass was onto Munoz. Ahamada cut in on the left, and that's when he was dispossessed. Just got 45 seconds of injury time now as Palace go back towards their own keeper.
All right, well, find me a man of the match today, then, Paul, out of all this schmozzle.
I think Wharton's got to be up there. I think Ayew was excellent for Palace as well. It's difficult to give it to a Fulham player, although they have, as I say, been quite resolute in how they've sort of weathered everything. I think that's just for the fact that we've been mentioning him so much in the game, I'm going to give it to Adam Wharton.
Yeah, I think so. I think Richards hardly put a foot wrong, and you're right, he played well. Wharton again just spoons the ball away. He's been a ball magnet today.
But that's it. It's been a good team effort from Fulham to weather that from Palace. I can't really pick out any Fulham player that would stand out as the man of the match, player of the match. But I think that it's been a good effort from Fulham because Palace were much the better side, and it's now out for a throw. But we're over the 7 minutes.
Yeah, we are. And the referee about to put a whistle to the lips. Has he done that? Yes, he has. So final scoreline then at Craven Cottage was Fulham 1, Crystal Palace 1. Thanks for joining us.